Well, for the longest time when people used to have these icebreakers, you're in these different situations and people are like, well, a good icebreaker is for people to tell their most embarrassing story. I never really had a good one. The only thing I could come up with was something related to walking into the wrong classroom when I was like a second grader. And I walked into the third grade classroom. Like went to the bathroom, Boots Creek Elementary, then I came back in and I walked in and I got like all the way to my desk and I realized, there's somebody in my desk. He's not in my class. I'm in the wrong class. You feel like a moron, everybody's looking at you. But that's not a good story.
But that is potentially devastating for, second grader you said?
Yeah.
Did that change your life?
Yeah, I ended up, that's when I turned to the dark arts. No, it didn't mess me up at all.
The dark arts.
I got over it.
I've always had this fear of going into the women's restroom.
I can see that.
That's an embarrassing moment when you find yourself in the restroom of the other gender.
And when you go to one of those restaurants where they're trying to be cute and they're like using a different name for the men and the women, and you're like, I gotta be really sure about this.
Yeah, it's like you said that. Yeah, you gotta really think about it. Or if you in an emergency situation, you don't have time for that, and that's really bad when you're in an emergency situation in the wrong restroom.
I think if it's an emergency, you just go to the nearest one. I think that's an international rule, is that when you're about to crap your pants or something like that, you go to the nearest bathroom. And if there's a woman in there, you just grab her out of the stall and you just go for it.
I'm crapping my pants in the women's restroom. Dang it.
Okay, but I do have a real embarrassing story. Okay, a few years ago, I don't remember where we were or what we were doing, but we've been good friends for a long time. We've worked together for a very long time. And we've been on many different trips with our families, road trips everywhere where we've had to rent vehicles. Mm-hmm. And so I remember we had rented a van that time. And this was back when you had one kid and I may have had one, or I don't know. I forget. I lose track of all that. But
I'm pretty sure we were in Kentucky.
Okay, Kentucky. So we had it. It was a place where we had enough. One minivan could fit both families at that time because the families were small. And we had to stop at a gas station to use the bathroom, probably. I was about to crap my pants and I had to go use the bathroom. I don't know. Or maybe I just wanted to get some beef jerky.
I have to crap my pants. I'm going in this gas station.
And the women's restroom is closer, so I'm going in that one. So we go into this place and I do whatever I had to do. And I come back out and see the van. And I go up to the van and begin to open the door. And that's when I realized Blink has locked the door. Oh, he's trying to play some trick on me. I don't know what it was. Or I just thought he's locked the door. He doesn't realize that he's locked the door on me. So I'm like pulling on the door. I'm like looking in there. Open the... I can't really see. There's like a reflection. Open the door! Open the door! And then slowly, the person in the driver's seat, because I'm trying to get in the passenger seat, comes into focus, and this woman with this look on her face like, this guy is going to kill me.
I'm going to crap my pants in your van.
And then
she thought you were going to kill her.
She thought I was trying to carjack her, I guess.
You kept yelling, open the door, open the door.
At first I was just like, open the door. Then I was like, open the door! I was talking to you the way I would talk to you.
And then I slowly
Which is also the way that you would carjack someone.
Yeah,
incidentally.
I slowly see, because I'm watching this. And of course I'm not doing anything because that would spoil a great, most embarrassing story. I see Rhett's head slowly, as he's starting to, the woman comes into focus, I see his head slowly turn a little bit. And then I see our van and me come into focus.
Well, I look down 2 or 3 vans or 2 or 3 cars and I see, there's the other white van that looks exactly like the van that we have rented.
Oh man, I'm crying a little bit.
And then when I realized I was just like, there's nothing you can't explain yourself. It was just like, it kind of gave her the wave and went down. She probably thinks he just gave up because I had the doors locked. The carjacker gave up because I had the doors locked. Always have your doors locked. See, kids? Always have your doors locked because the carjacker will try a couple times and then he'll give up. He'll give up, kids. You see how that tall man gave up? He was really upset, but then he gave up because we had the car locked.
she comes into focus, and then you're like, I changed my mind! I don't want to open your door! I'm actually going to go to my van! Not yours!
It wasn't quite like that, but I was embarrassed, and it is my most embarrassing story now. But this happens all the time. You know, this is the problem with the fact that you don't have a completely individualized car.
Right, you see people, you see cars, and you just want to get in them as if you're attacking the person. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
Are you trying to justify your actions here?
I'm just saying it can happen to anybody. Has it ever happened to you where you were trying to get into your car, or you walked to a different car and it wasn't your car, it was actually somebody else's car that looked exactly like your car? Or, you know, it's just like being at the airport and picking up a suitcase that is not your suitcase but looks just like your suitcase, and then somebody's like, whoa, hey, that's my bag. Hey, that's my bag.
All of a sudden they're Tony Danza.
Hey, that's my bag guy. Hey, what you doing with my bag?
Sylvester Stallone.
Did you know that's my bag?
Or just a pizza maker.
I'm making a pizza with this bag. You cannot take from my pizza bag. It has the pizza dough inside.
The dough is all inside of there. I gotta get it and toss it up and make it a pizza.
I take it in a suitcase and I go, whoa, the suitcase, it's stiff.
You see this little compartment right here? That's a pepperoni in there. And I got a sausage in there.
But I like meeting someone on the road who drives your same vehicle. You have a more unique vehicle, so maybe this is more applicable for you. But
yeah, this happens all the time.
That's a good thing. Isn't there like a sense of camaraderie because you got this little black Scion?
I drive the little Scion XB. Very distinct, very weird looking, odd looking car.
Stupid, really.
Stupid if you want to be truthful about it. And I'll pull up to a light and I'll see a guy or a girl and they'll be driving the exact same car. And you just kind of look at them and you're like, it's the whole, we got the same car nod. You know?
But it's a good thing. It's like we're on the same team, right?
Team Scion XB, Black Scion XB.
It's not like going into like a class when you're younger and someone else has the same outfit on as you. Or even now, if I'm walking through the...
Because that's just awkward.
If I walk through the mall or if I go to a party, oh, that's really bad. You go to a party and somebody's wearing the same t-shirt. Oh, I thought this t-shirt was really clever until John was also wearing it.
Yeah, there's no nod for that. There's no like, hey, we got the same shirt on. It's like, we have the same shirt on. You either have to leave or I have to leave. But when it's the car, it's just like, hey, you want to drive somewhere together? Hold on, let's get into a single file line. Or better yet, let's each get into the different lanes and drive next to each other.
I remember when I was in...
You got the same car.
When I was in high school, my 1987 red Nissan pickup. You know that was my first car.
Yeah.
In high school, John Spivey. You remember this guy?
Oh, yeah.
He was actually like somehow my third cousin removed. He had the same truck that I had, but he did not sense camaraderie. One day he came up to me in the parking lot and he was like, let's race. Like, seriously. And I was like, no. I was like, I don't want to race this dude. He's crazy.
On foot or in the cars?
In the cars. He was like, well, we have the same truck. So it all comes down to drivers, I guess he was thinking. Yesterday, Rhett shared his most embarrassing story. Thanks to all of you who commented, commiserated,
yes,
and just generally laughed at his mishap.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn, right?
Well, I mean, everybody has an embarrassing story.
I don't have any embarrassing stories.
So you're saying this one's made up?
No, I actually have a lot of them. It's like you struggled to find yours. I struggled to pick which one.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
That's because I live life to the fullest without thinking about it ahead of time.
Okay, I like your perspective on it. I would say you make a lot of mistakes.
This has got to be probably the top embarrassing story. So, love me when this is over, please. Still accept me.
Thanks for clarifying.
In college, this was probably junior year. It was summertime. I was taking summer classes. You were out and about,
off
in the world. You were not. So, my surrogate Rhett, his name was Matt. I'll tell you his last name. It was Newkirk.
Mm-hmm.
He was my weightlifting partner because we decided to lift weights this summer. Let's lift weights. Let's work out.
Get buff.
Yeah, we're gonna work out every single day, 5 days a week. I'll go ahead and skip to the end of the story. It didn't work out that well. I mean, I didn't bulk up. I didn't gain any muscle mass, man. I don't know. You know, I got maybe a little firmer in like my abdomen area or something.
You weren't eating right. Nutrition was the key that was lacking.
So, I mean, that's a little embarrassing, but one particular day was very embarrassing. Now, I'll tell you what happened in terms of our approach for weightlifting. One of the main factors was the whole shower situation, okay? And, you know, when you get to, maybe in middle school, definitely in middle school, maybe in high school, like the showers are a weird thing. Maybe you don't no showers at school. Yeah, you don't even hit the shower. But, you know, Matt and I had this conversation. It's like, you know what? We're in college. We're adults now. We have to go to class before and after the gym. We should hit the showers, okay?
Well, college represents a transitional time in which you are now independent, you know, so to speak. You're kind of on your own. You're entering into adulthood. You're 18 and over. And so you get into this place where you're like, you know what? If I work out, I can go take a naked shower in a huge communal shower. And it's not prison, it's college.
Right, which, you know, they're very similar depending on your experience in college. But so that's what we decided.
Part of growing up.
You'll
understand one day, people, if you're not there yet.
So we decided that we were going to hit the showers and each pick our own shower.
And that means take a shower for our international fans.
And get, you know, and we were going to do that in the way you should take a shower, and that's nude. So this embarrassing story does involve nudity. Okay. You know, I quickly realized that one of the main things in this whole process was you want to minimize the nudity. You don't just...
Can we just say nakedness?
Nakedness. Professors will walk around in the locker room. These old professors, like 60-year-old guys, just walk around naked all the time. Heck, you know, if there weren't rules, they'd probably work out naked.
Yeah.
When you get to be that old, you just don't care at all.
They just take pride in it.
But when you're a college student...
It's like the first Olympics, you know?
Hey, look at me. Yeah, I'm naked.
Where's my javelin? Because I would like to throw it while naked. Where's my shot put?
So I wanted to minimize my nakedness. I only wanted to be naked if I was actually under the water of the shower.
Yeah.
So I had developed this system where basically you would go into the locker room, there were sets of lockers, and then you would go from the lockers to the shower. So you would take off all your clothes, or I would take off all my clothes at the locker, and I would put them in the locker. I would lock the locker. But as soon as, you know, my underwear was off, I had the towel around me, okay?
Yeah.
And then you walk with the towel to the shower, and you drape the towel, you turn the water on, you get it to the right temperature. Then you take the towel off.
I know how it works.
You drape it up there so it stays dry, and then you take your shower.
Got it.
You know, don't take any more time than you need, but make sure you clean everything that needs to be cleansed. Then you take the towel and you dry off with it, and you wrap it around you, and you go back to the lockers. Now the way the lockers were set up were, it was like a hallway of lockers, okay? And they faced each other, and then there was one bench right there in the middle. So you could sit down on the bench and put your shoes on or whatnot. So I get back to it, and then you do your system in reverse. Now, you know,
You have a lot of systems.
you've got the towel around your waist, you've got the shoes, then the shirt, then the pants, and then the underwear on top. So the first thing you want to put on is your underwear. And then there's this crucial moment there where you have to drop your towel and then grab the underwear.
It's called the moment of nakedness.
The moment of nakedness should always be minimized, and my system allows for that.
There's a t-shirt.
You can buy the system on VHS.
The moment of nakedness should always be minimized.
Yeah. So
In certain situations.
So here we go.
Like a locker room.
So I would, I'd have the towel ready to drop. I'd have my eyes on the underwear, the boxers, the briefs, what have you. Boom, drop the towel. Moment of nakedness is happening. Grabbing the underwear as quickly as possible, putting them on, and then putting the pants on. I'm out of the woods.
Yep. Fully clothed.
Well, one day didn't go according to plan. I got the towel ready to drop, eyes on the underwear, towel drops, bend over. As I'm reaching to grab the underwear, I feel both of my butt cheeks push up against something. And now I know immediately there is no wall behind me. Especially a wall that feels like cold, clammy flesh. And this seemed to all happen in slow motion. So I'm bending over.
Hold on, this is during the moment of nakedness.
Well, yeah, absolutely. The towel has dropped.
Which should be minimized.
Towel has been dropped. The cheeks are being firmly pressed into clammy flesh. And I turn around slowly. It's as if it took hours. I turn around and I realize there is a very large, shirtless man sitting on the bench. Thank goodness he was facing the other direction.
Does he have a javelin?
No. I had planted my butt cheeks into this dude's mushy back. And so as I turn around, I think my butt cheeks were still on his back as I was looking. As I turn around and look, I notice he's turning around looking at me and our eyes lock.
Ooh, that's embarrassing.
Then what do you do? It's just like, I slowly pulled my butt cheeks off of him. I think it made it sound like one of those. And then, I put on my underwear.
I bet it didn't make that sound.
This is what
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say I bet it didn't make that sound.
And then it's like, then everything went into fast forward. It was like, put my underwear on, put my pants on, grab my shirt, grab my towel, grab everything. And I just grabbed it all and I just ran around the corner to the other side. And then I put on my clothes. And then as I was walking out, I looked down that hallway where he was sitting, and the dude was still sitting there. It was like...
And he winked at you.
No, he didn't. He was like, I guess he was in shock. He was just like frozen. And like, and then I went to my chemistry class.
Where's my shot put? I felt a cold, soft shot put, or maybe 2 shot puts on my back.
Boy, that was embarrassing. Especially when I realized that he was my chemistry professor.
That's not partying true.
It's not. It didn't even have to be. It was worse. It was bad enough. Thank goodness he wasn't facing the other way. That's all I gotta say.
And it is good that he was not one of your professors. You never took a class from him. You just saw him on campus, and there was an uncomfortable exchange.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said yesterday. It's like you see somebody driving a car. It's like, yeah, the same car as you. It's like, yeah, you kind of give him a nod, like, yeah, you pressed your butt cheeks into my back.
So when you gonna be working out again, son?
There was no conversation like that.
Woo! Haven't seen you in the gym lately, son.
That's how all professors talk, at our school at least.